Okay, so art dealer, artist, what happened next?
I just took courses and got training in facilitation, and I learned how to be a facilitator for corporate groups, and I learned how to be what's called a graphic facilitator. So it's a visual practitioner, and what that is you in meetings you put lots of big paper on meetings, meaning like huge meetings. So I would draw on the wall the sort of metaphors and essence of what they were communicating. So they had a visual memory of what was happening in.
How was your brain working during that time?
Well, that's the point. So that's exactly why I brought it up. So what happens is you have to, you develop your listening so that you listen for the unspoken and spoken messages that they're communicating, because they're talking, and in real time you're drawing all of these metaphors on there that shows the journey that they're going on. So what that did for me, I did that for 2.5 years.
Such an interesting skill to have.
Yeah.
It's not just listening from a different perspective. It's reading between the lines and communicating it in such a visual way.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a trained artist. I just was doing the mandala, so I had to really learn sort of how to do some things representational in order to be able to get them.
So give me an example of something that was said in the meeting and how that transferred onto you.
So, for instance, for this hospital, the 60 people were talking, and so I drew some cliffs over here and some mountains in the back while they're talking, and then sort of a tribe, some figures around a campfire, a bonfire in the middle, and then some people on the outskirts looking down because they weren't all united at first. And so then I was putting a timeline of where they started. With the ideas for the hospital, and in the end there was a path I drew that went towards the sun of what they wanted to create, and I put some of the dates on the timeline out away from the bonfire where the figures were coming down and they were gathering more together, drew them going towards the sun. And what it is that visual group memory, 83% of us learn visually. That's we have to see visually. So what happens is when you're talking in a normal meeting without any visual representation, it's just you're learning orally, A-U-R-A-L-L-Y, right, by your hearing, and whatever you can see in terms of their communication, whatever you write down yourself. This is then visually getting out the ideas, and you see the path of where you started from, where you're going.
How much